Hello, and welcome. Today is Thursday, July 4th, so happy 4th of July to you. I'm going to record a quick little intro video to the work of week 3 here in NMP 650 because the module for week 3, I'm going to try to open it up this afternoon um, based on the assumption that some, if not all of you, do have a little more free time this weekend. That's a holiday weekend, and perhaps you'd like to be able to look ahead into the work of week 3. In the background, you can see my best friends. I don't know if they're both there. Yes, they are. That's Ruby in the pink collar, and behind her is Georgia. They're my best buddies, and frequently they are here with me in my office when I am working with you. They are both Rhodesian Ridgebacks, and you would think that this hot weather that we're experiencing would be quite familiar to them, but no, the hot weather results in dog day afternoons, as it were. So anyway, that's Ruby and Georgia. They may get up and roam around the bed while I'm talking, hopefully not. Okay, so we're at the end of week 2. And you've all been discussing the Bowman and Deal material about the structural frame. So just a quick recap about that. As you've been noting in the discussion forums, the real secret of the sweet spot of the structural frame is that balance between structure and freedom. It's really all about that form following function. And when that doesn't happen, when that balance doesn't occur, as you've noted in your conversations in the discussion forums, that's where tension occurs. Everything seems to be a blend, however, as you've also noted. Even in this initial Willow Creek case study, organizational structures are usually a blend of one of the 4 Bowman and Deal frameworks, even though they are presented in isolation, and we're going to be studying them, at least initially in isolation, in order to be able to talk about them individually. But as we move forward, you'll begin to see how they occur usually as a mix or a blend. They don't occur in isolation in the real world, in real life. Back really quickly to the structural frame, the benefit of the structure is that it gives everyone the freedom to function within the structure, knowing what the expectations are, what the goals are. So in looking at organizational issues, you might think about, in terms of the structural frame, is it being used to control, or is it being used to really offer freedom to employees or volunteers or board members, what have you. So that's really the secret to that. It really depends then on how the staff or the volunteers fit into the structure of the organization. And if there's a misfit, as you've talked about again in the discussion forums, if there's a misfit, your task as a leader is to identify that misfit and try to think through how to deal with that misfit. So that's really a great lead-in to the work of week 3 with regard to the Bowman and Deal, which is going to be the human resources frame. So with the human resources frame, once again, it's about alignment, it's about balance and alignment, but it's really about how to align the goals of the organization with the wants and the needs of the people, of the individuals. After all, I think that you would grant that an organization's staff or employees or its board members or all of the above, the people are an organization's greatest asset. And so therefore, the alignment of those people with the mission or the goals of the organization is really key. And that's really at the heart of the human resources frame, understanding where that alignment is. And we'll be talking about that um, in terms of the Bowman and Deal reading, and you will be, once again, um, using a case study. In this case, it will be the American Red Cross to to really analyze how that framework works within an organization and organizational issues. So that's the work in week 3 in terms of Bowman and Deal. In terms of the work on your capstone, I was happy to have a conversation with all of you in week 2 and learn more about what your ideas were for your research topic areas. And in some cases, you're right on track, and in some cases, you're taking a couple of steps back and reformulating and going to come at it in a different way. But at the same time, all of you should be, at this point in time, have reached out to the reference librarians at Hatch Library and started your preliminary literary research of the literature, of the academic literature. If you haven't done that, then absolutely start that today. That even though there was no written assignment in week 2, that you should not have recognized that as a week off, because at the end of week 3, the written assignment will be for you to submit the draft of the introduction chapter of your capstone paper. I've posted several examples of capstone reports, and you've been talking about them in the week 2 peer coaching forums. Go back and look at those as often as you like. Be aware when I post examples, there's no such thing as the perfect example. So in every case, there's going to be something that is not going to quite fit or will stand out to you as not making sense. So always reach out or talk to your fellow classmates with questions about the form. They're there really to help you begin to visualize the form of your capstone paper, and in particular, the introduction chapter. So let me go over that really quickly. Once again, that assignment is going to be due Sunday night, the end of week 3. It should be in the vicinity of 3 to 4 pages. You will find that the week 1 assignment should have helped you to begin to think about what will become the bones of your introduction chapter. Number 1, you will be discussing the background of your topic area, your research topic area. Number 2, you need to very clearly state the specific purpose of your capstone project. Number 3, you need to begin to really articulate your research question or questions. So I know I've said that this is an ongoing process, but you have to start somewhere. So right here in the introduction chapter is where you discuss the background of the research topic area, you discuss the purpose of your individual research project, and then you will actually articulate your specific research questions. Then you will go on to describe the potential audience or audiences for your work, and then you'll talk about who they are and how they will benefit. Then also your introduction chapter should identify any limitations that your study may have in terms of time or scope of the research. And finally, any key terms that you need to define in order for the reader to go on with clarity in terms of reading the next chapter of your capstone, which will be the literature review. And we will, once you've handed in this introduction chapter at the end of week 3, then in week 4 and 5, we will go on and actually roll up our sleeves and dig into the writing of the literature review. Remember, please, that in reviewing the literature, you're to be looking for peer-reviewed literature academic literature. If you have any questions about what that means, there are several resources, many resources at the beginning of this week 3 module that will talk about what is peer-reviewed literature, what is academic literature, and how to identify it and how to find it and how to use it. So please do that. Also, one really last quick note, I did send out an announcement in week 2 about the use of Zotero, which is a citation software that will really help you to keep track as you read through these various pieces of academic literature for your literature review. That will be a lifesaver for you. So if you didn't see that announcement, try to find it and try to download Zotero or some other citation software. Otherwise, you're going to go crazy. Okay, that's it for my really quick introduction to week 3. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday today. And I see that my girls never raised an eyebrow or an ear back there. They seem totally uninterested in the work of week 3. So let me know where your questions are, and I will see you online.